Hey crafters, today we're all about repurposing our gift wrapping paper. Christmas, the holidays are over, and now we have all this gift wrapping paper. So are you ready to turn this into this? I'm going to show you how to make several thank you cards from all that holiday gift wrapping paper that you have left over. So let's do this. The first card we need to make is just a flap card. Now, take your trimmer and take an A2 card, which is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and we are just going to cut this top flap down just a little bit. So we are going to cut it at 2 inches, and that gives us 2 1/4 left for our front flap. Now I want to remind you, the measurements for the 2 cards that we're working with will be over on creativemomentsbyg.com under my blog. The next thing we want to do is grab your wrapping paper. Now for this one, I had bought a set of 4 holiday wrapping papers, and this came with it, and I used it for a lot of my presents, but now I want to use it for a thank you card. So I went and I just cut a second mat. I cut a first mat in red, and I'm going to lay this down right here. This is a perfect thank you card. It could be a masculine card. So the first thing I'm going to do is lay down our wrapping paper that we have. Now, just a reminder, when you're working with wrapping paper, it is rather delicate. So when you go to cut it in your trimmer, it's really important to start cutting in the middle, because if you cut up here and try to slice it, you might crumple that corner right there. So because it is so delicate, just be careful with it. Now the next tip I want to give you is I am not using a tape runner on this wrapping paper because it grabs it and it does not allow me to wiggle it at all. And I want to make sure that I get everything nice and straight. So next I'm just going to add this to the top, and you can see how you can make several of this design very quickly. So let's go ahead and just add that to the top flap. Look at that. So pretty. Now on the inside, I'm going to go ahead and double mat it. I've brought in some red cardstock, or Real Red is the name of our cardstock. Just going to add that to the inside. And we all have lots of wrapping paper. These cards that I'm going to show you are absolutely perfect for these quick thank you cards that you need after the holiday season. So the next thing I want to do is stamp my message. And I really like this large thanks so much. I can center it right down here at the bottom. I'm going to use my Night of Navy. It looks very dark. It almost looks black. So tap, tap, tap. And I'm just going to center it right on the bottom. Just hold it there so all the ink can transfer. Look at how pretty that is. Now all I want to do is add some glue to the back of this and add it to the inside of my card. And there we have a very quick thank you card. We used our wrapping paper. So we have our first card made. Now I want to remind you to stay with us until the end, because we have several more designs to show you using a variety of wrapping paper. But let's go ahead and move over to our second card that we're going to make. Now this time I have some scraps And I just cut them evenly so that we could space them across a card just like this. And I cut a first mat, so we're going to be spacing those scraps on this. And this is just 5 1/4 by 4. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to just put my 2 end pieces first, because that helps guide me as to where I want to put the other ones. So I'm just going to give myself a little bit of glue on the 2 end scraps, line them up, and then I can lay the other scraps on the inside. That's just a technique that I like to use. Okay, and now I'm just going to work my way in. I'm going to lay down all these scraps. Now I've laid these on the first mat, and all I need to do is go ahead and bring in my card. This is an A2 card, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm just going to adhere it to the front panel. Now this is a landscape card, so I'm going to go ahead and just glue it down to the front of our card. Now, for the sentiment, I'm taking these 2 stamp sets, With You in Mind and Friends for Life. I'm taking this thank you so that I can run it across the bottom. And then I thought it might be kind of pretty to have this cute little flower, or just like a little image on the front. So what I did was I went ahead and stamped it, and then I added a background behind it. I added my 2 little flowers, and we're just going to run that across the front of it. And I'm going to set it up on dimensionals. We're just going to run it down in the lower third. And we're going to add this so that we have room to write on the inside. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to stamp a little message just on the inside. Tap, tap, tap. Thinking of you. I'm just going to put it in the bottom right-hand corner because I want to be able to write all the way through it. Now let's add it to the inside of our card. And now we have 2 thank you cards, 2 different, very different designs that you can use and repurpose your gift wrapping paper. But let me show you the other designs that we have. Now, this looks just like the very first one that I did, this one, but I used different gift wrapping paper. I stamped our flowers. Thanks so much. Just to give you an idea, using different gift wrapping paper. And then look at this one. This is just a diagonal cut right here. And this is, I cut a second mat. I cut a rectangle that was 5 by 3 3/4 and made a diagonal cut. Look at that. How pretty is that? Very simple, very quick. And added an inside. And then we have this Z fold. Look at this one. This is beautiful holiday paper. We matted it a couple times, and this is just a fold back. So this is just a regular card. We scored it at 2 1/8, and it became a Z fold. And then we added this panel to the front. Look at that, a very quick card. And finally, another strip card, but with a much bigger thank you. So what do you think about repurposing your gift wrapping paper and creating thank you cards or birthday cards? It doesn't have to be a thank you card. We all have lots of gift wrapping paper. Let's use it. We don't want to lose it, and we don't want to wait until the next holiday season to use it. Well, Monty and I hope that you were inspired by this technique and that you go out and start making those thank you cards. If you want to support our channel, we sure would appreciate it. And it's free. Just subscribe, like, and share with your friends and help us grow. Until next time, Monty and I wish you lots of creative moments. Bye-bye.